How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys had an awesome weekend. And the weekend is definitely here, so it's a beautiful thing. Today's discussion matter I'm going to be getting into is a tribute to Mr. John Singleton. Rest in peace. Family, gone way too soon. Very inspirational gentleman in my definitely a great inspiration from him coming from humble beginnings and where he was at before he passed away. So a lot of respect to John Singleton. And today I'm just going to talk about a little bit about his life and the movies that he made and all that good stuff and how it meant to me. So what it meant to me at the end of the day. So Mr. John Daniel Singleton was born on January 6, 1968 in Los Angeles, California. I was born in January, so we had that in common. And he was born in my favorite city in my favorite state. So, definitely a lot of credit on that one. So he grew up in that area, and he worked he worked as a film director, producer, and screenwriter. And he dealt with more of what I like to call reality movies at the end of the day. Not all this stuff that you have going on nowadays, but more realistic movies that I could really picture myself in from a realistic perspective. Mr. Singleton studied screenwriting at the University of Southern California, good old SC, School of Cinematic Arts, winning 3 writing awards from the university, which led to a contract with Creative Artists Agency during his sophomore year, which is to me pretty freaking awesome. In 1991, Columbia Pictures bought his script for Boys in the Hood and budgeted the movie at $7 million. And back then, that was a lot of money, back in the 90s. It is a bad and fortunately, that he passed away on April 29, 2019. I just heard that, word about, who's getting his properties and all that nonsense. I'm just like, I don't even want to know. I'm celebrating his life. Mr. Singleton's movie, Boys in the Hood. The movie Boys in the Hood was released in 1991, which helped jumpstart movie careers of Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., Morris Chestnut, Nia Long, and definitely great performances by Lawrence Fishburne and Angela Bassett. And it definitely helped spark the career of Regina King, and so on. From a different perspective, even though she did other shows as a child. And Mr. Singleton made numerous other movies as well. And I'm just going to talk about Boys in the Hood. Made numerous other big movies that premiered and the movies that brought truth to life in South Central Los Angeles all at the same time in the 1990s. And the other movies that he made was, as you see, Baby Boy, Rosewood, Higher Learning, Poetic Justice. I didn't even know he directed Too Fast, Too Furious, and I didn't even realize he directed Four Brothers. I knew he directed Shaft. But yeah, a lot of great movies, a lot of realistic movies, great stories, the whole nine. This is how life can really be. And I think a lot of time, we live in a time now where you have a lot of great directors, but you don't have many movies being watched or marketed to where it makes everybody wants to see the movies and whatnot. So that's the one thing I miss about the 90s. You had a lot more movies that were more realistic. So therefore it made more adults want to go to the movies. Nowadays everything's such a fantasy thing. It's just like, it's not really my cup of tea. I don't knock it for anybody else. It's just not me. So, it saddens me in 2019, all these great people like him, Nipsey Hussle, great people are dying. And, and what I'm really learning today is that we do not really appreciate what we have until it's gone. I grew up in Northern Virginia, and not until recently did I even get to discover the West Coast of the United States. Until recently, I just found out, where my DNA comes from. I actually got my test results in today. And my people come from Cameroon. So, yeah, Cameroon, Africa. Beautiful thing. It's always nice to learn something new every day. But I digress. But what I love the most about the movie Boys in the Hood, back to the subject at hand, what I love the most about the movie Boys in the Hood is that it showed that South Central Los Angeles was more than just a place of gangbangers and violent shootings. A lot of movies depicted that part of the city of Los Angeles from a negative connotation, like nothing good was going on. And that's one thing I liked about Boys in the Hood. It showed more than just that. I mean, amazing, just, amazing all at the same time. And the movie actually shows that there was, and to this day there still is, a middle class to upper middle class in that area. And because if I just went by what the regular media shows and only music videos and all that good stuff without watching a movie like Boys in the Hood, I would have just thought that it was a doom and gloom. South Los Angeles is a doom and gloom place, and I've been there multiple times. It's not. It's beautiful. I'll leave it at that. We now, like I said earlier, we now live in the age of major superhero movies. Nothing wrong with that. I don't like people that are into it, so please don't take it as you're a hater or anything of that nature. I'm not. But I'm more of a big fan of reality movies, which you don't see enough of. Reality movies aren't big and publicized as superhero movies are. Superhero movies are a thing right now. That's cool. Every generation has this genre, And like I said, is there anything wrong with watching superhero movies? Absolutely not, But it's just not my thing. I'm more of a real life person, something that I can relate to in my everyday existence. And I like the fact that John Singleton never forgot where he came from too. That's another thing to remember. In a sense, he was like a Nipsey Hussle by having his company office in South LA, by hiring people who live in that specific community. John Singleton was very big on authenticity when it came to his movies too. Constantly being around the right environment can spark and increase anyone's creativity if they have it, if they want to utilize it too. Another favorite movie that John Singleton made was called Higher Learning. And this was the first time I actually saw Busta Rhymes in a movie, so that was very interesting, to say the least. He did a great job. And in this movie, basically talked about life on college campuses where racial tensions were very, very high, and all that good stuff, and how people dealt with it, and then how people was, actually trying to make a good change in the movie. Great positive messages, in this movie. You had your negative aspects of it, but you had your positive aspects of it. Great cast of actors and actresses and all that good stuff. Actors like Regina King, Ice Cube, Busta Rhymes, Omar Epps, and also Michael Rappaport starred and did a great job in this movie. At the end of the day, it was a great combination of everything. Watching this movie really informed me how high tensions were between people and how racial tensions can explode at a moment's notice. So, this movie had a great positive message at the end. So, next movie we're getting into, Baby Boy. And this is definitely a movie that put Tyrese's acting career on the map. So, Snoop Dogg too, but this definitely, Taraji P. Henson too. It's like, this movie really gave people a chance and put their careers on the map. We wouldn't know who Taraji P. Henson was if I wouldn't know who she was if I never saw her in this movie. And I leave it at that. Ving Rhames was in this movie as well, great actor, definitely underrated in my personal opinion, but I leave it at that. Great movie. And watching Baby Boy basically just informed me on how, when people get, have children early and they're not responsible and they're very immature, and then they're getting caught up in the game of life, or if you live in a certain area where crime is high and the gang tension's high, you get in the game of gangs and crimes and all that bad stuff, to where life can be lost, you could get hurt, then and moving on. But then the movie had a great positive message in the beginning. It was more reality based. Then people were like, okay, I don't want this life, I want this life, more of a positive life in my life. So I want to do the necessary things in order for me to get to where I need to. It showed Tyrese's character, Jody, being more of a hustler. He knew that he was had a bad criminal record, so he knew he needed to become more of an entrepreneur, which is a great message in my personal opinion, because usually people with criminal records have a hard time of finding a job. So if you can become an entrepreneur, it works out even better in one's favor, especially if you hustle hard enough. So great movie, all positive in the end, and I loved it. Matter of fact, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s brother Omar Gooding was in this movie too, played Jody's friend. So great movie. I could watch this movie like it was yesterday. You know, I think I still got the old VHS tape. Yeah, I'm dating myself now, but but yeah, I could still watch this movie like it was just like at my first time, like it was yesterday. So I love it. So you know that if you have never seen Baby Boy, please check it out. You know, I'm basically just going through his profile of my favorite John Singleton movies. And last but not least, we have Poetic Justice, all-star cast. Tupac was in this movie. Regina King, Janet Jackson, Joe Torre. So great cast of actors and actresses. And you know, it was another movie based in South Central Los Angeles. Matter of fact, this was actually filmed. It was filmed before the LA riots in '92, and then they couldn't finish it until after the riots were over with. So if you watch this movie, you see different scenes, parts of the city of Los Angeles that actually got burned down. So movie's great. Oh, definitely 90s California movie. Tupac plays a guy that's trying to do the right thing, take care of his daughter, and look for the right woman and all that good stuff. So great movie. It gets into domestic violence. It talks about multiple poems that are spoken by Maya Angelou and Janet Jackson and all that good stuff. The late great Maya Angelou. So great movie. Never seen it? Please check it out. Definitely. And then, you know, it had some parts where it had some crime in it, and then it showed working people in South LA, people owning their own businesses. So it was more of a realistic connotation to life in South Los Angeles in the 90s. So thought that was great all at the same time. You know, all of these movies that I have talked about had a great positive and tremendous impact on my life. And I know the lives of others. And the perspective of life outside of Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, the DMV area, was greater than anything that I could imagine. You don't see many movies like that nowadays, because even though these movies had like 5 to 10% ratchetry, you see independent movie made nowadays, most of the time it's got 30 to 50% ratchetry, and I'm just looking at these people like, yeah, this is not for me. But I will say that this is a great number of movies. John Singleton will definitely be missed. His art will never be forgotten, and my condolences go out to him and his family all at the same time. I say to you, Mr. Singleton, R.I.P., and hopefully the next generation can carry on your work. So thank you for being a great creative artist. Thank you for being a great entrepreneur, and thank you for inspiring so many people, especially within your community. I'll leave it at that, guys. Real quick video. I just had to get it out. I gotta start learning how to appreciate people while they're still here before they're gone. You know, so on that note, enjoy your life. Live your life now. Don't worry about what anybody else says. Live it on your terms. As long as you're not breaking law and you're not hurting people. You got one life and you gotta live it. And with so many people passing away or being killed nowadays, we need to start enjoying ourselves more. So I'm keeping positive on that note. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share. Please subscribe. Check out my online store. And, you know, hey, enjoy the freaking weekend. All right? Take care.